So, and I don't talk about this much, but on Guys That Listen, because I love you guys so much, I was like I did drugs. I don't know what to
I
say
did
this.
drugs. I did some drugs.
I did meth for 12 years.
Holy shit.
And it was like weekly. It was like every day at first, and then weekly, and then like from that it was like, like a couple times a month, and then I would try to lessen it, and then it would go back to like weekly.
I would have never guessed, like, knowing you through these years, you're like the most unassuming meth head I've ever met. So, but wait, how? Because like when you have an idea of someone who does meth, right, it's totally not you. So were you just really good at hiding it, or? Welcome to Guys That Listen. I'm Peter, and today we got a special guest, Mikey, on the pod. Yo.
Thank you for having me.
Tell the audience a little bit about you.
Hi everyone, my name is Mikey Anthony. I am a photographer based in Orange County, or Los Angeles, both. And I have been doing photography since I was in high school, and now I'm just doing it full time. I do mostly freelance. I shoot a lot of like lifestyle and just a lot of like, people just hit me up, and I'm just like, yeah, let's just shoot.
Just hit me up. I'm kind of a big deal.
We love a good shoot.
How'd you get into photography?
I got into photography when like the whole MySpace, Zanga, Blogspot days were kind of forming. And so I kind of that was kind of my outlet, my escape, my art at the time. So I started like before high school. So going into high school, I just started shooting just like everything with my Motorola Razor.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that was my first phone. And so I just kind of just dived into the whole just documenting my whole life, because literally I would move so fast, and I still move so fast. I tend to forget things. So that's kind of my way of just going back into my day and just like, oh, I was here. Oh, I went to McDonald's. Oh, I hung out with so-and-so. And so, like that was kind of the way I like journaled and just like visual.
Nice.
I'm a very visual person.
So where'd you grow up?
So most of my life, I grew up in Santa Ana.
Oh, okay.
Originally, I'm from... Yeah, I'm from Garden Grove, but
okay.
Like every day, my father would wake up at 3 and take me to Santa Ana. So I would be in Santa Ana from like 4 a.m. all the way to like 9 p.m. every day.
For what?
My parents would they would go to work, so no one was at home to take care of me. So the person who could really take care of me was my Lola, my grandma.
Yeah. Nice. Just your grandma? What about your grandpa?
All my grandpas passed away before I was born.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dang.
Which is really weird, because everyone in my family, like every time an old person dies, a new baby's born in our family.
What?
Which is so crazy. Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
Like it's like coincidence.
So you have like a couple of cousins, I'm assuming, that's like around your age?
Yeah. My dad has like 12 brothers and sisters, and my mom has like 10. She has 10. So there are a lot of cousins, but most of them are like overseas.
So what was life growing up in Santa Ana? How was that?
It was very multicultural. So my mom's Filipino, my dad is Vietnamese.
I did not know that. I thought you were Vietnamese the entire time. Fully.
Yes, queen. I am.
I'll take that as a compliment.
So I grew up with a very multicultural background. My neighbors were black. The people we hung out with were all like Latino, like Hispanic.
Yeah.
And then obviously I have my Filipino side and then my Vietnamese side, but also that's like we're just all mixed, because everyone marries like outside of their race and culture. So growing up, it was very like I just consumed a lot of like culture, and I kept like asking questions like, oh, what's this, what's that, like I don't know if I could say this. Like, who are white people? Like, like the first time I saw a white person was like, honestly, like my aunt.
Your aunt?
My
married
aunt
into?
Who married my Filipino uncle, and I didn't know what a white person was at the time.
Wow.
Is that rude?
How old are you? No.
I don't want to get canceled. I don't know. I just thought it was very interesting. It was like just seeing like different people with different skin tones walk through like the house, because I was in Santa Ana, so like, and my relatives, they had so many friends come over, so it's always a different person. So I'm always like just so curious about culture, which leads me up to what I majored in, which is like international business. So that's why like I have like a, what is it? I have a very like profound interest in like culture and like different people, you
Oh,
know.
that's nice.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. But so
Does
you're
that
half
make sense?
Yeah, no, it makes
Okay,
sense. It
okay.
makes sense. I mean, that's why you went that way, right?
Yeah.
But you're half Filipino, you're half Vietnamese.
Yes.
They say that's like the most two toxic like Asian people is like Vietnamese.
But like you love it. You're staring straight into my eyes.
I'm just asking you a question. I'm pretty sure
Okay, and I love
you know
these
I'm asking you.
Okay, down.
How toxic are you, Mikey?
Okay. I would have to say I'm on a scale of 1 to 10, growing like I think like around high school and college, I would say I was around like a 10.
Oh shit.
I was very quite toxic, and I always thought like I was smarter than everyone. I always like, you know, like because I thought I like knew everything, you know, because also I have an older brother, and so I kind of like picked up things very quickly, and like I had to like kind of grow up a little quicker than like a lot of people, just to like hang out with like older people. And like I just saw like the whole dynamic between like all these young people like in my family, and then all the older people like my older cousins and siblings would hang out with. So I was kind of like going back and forth, because I never really stuck around like in like with one cousin, because all my cousins that I actually like to hang out with, they're all overseas, right?
Oh.
I guess my toxic trait is just like me having these like expectations for people, like, oh, you should already know this.
So when did you realize that? Because I mean, you said you were 10. Is that like in hindsight you were 10, or during that time you're like, "Fuck, I am toxic as hell"?
I would say I started noticing my toxic traits when like after my dating scene, like after my ex.
Which ex?
After my last ex.
Your most recent ex.
Yes, my most recent.
Oh, so this is a recent development.
Yes, this is very recent, which is
shit.
why we were talking earlier about like having a spiritual awakening, which right now I feel like I'm just, you know, I don't think I'm that toxic anymore, but I do still
Scale
like,
1 to 10.
you know, like I would say like a 9.
No. What the hell? You know, at
Not
least
like I can be very like, I think now my toxic trait is I could be somewhat like manipulative, right? Wow. I'm saying this on camera. Hi everyone.
Hey, this is what it's about, man. We're just trying to be honest.
But it's hard for me to get to that point now. I'm just like more I like to just like sit back and just observe and like not say anything. That's kind of like how I move now. Before, I would really psychoanalyze people and ask them like a million questions. Like, not how's the weather, more like, oh, so what do you think of like, I don't know, like about like, for example, like if I'm looking at you and I'm like dissecting your look, first of all, like physicalities.
Yeah.
Like if you're groomed, this is such a Virgo trait, but like if you're groomed, how you're dressed, like if you put like more than just like you throw on an outfit, if you like cuffed your pants or if you like tied your hair back or if you like wore a watch, like I would see those things and kind of like judge you, or like not judge you, but like kind of like psychoanalyze like that part. And then I would ask you some questions like, so like, you know, who's the most important person in your life?
wow. You get deep right away.
Yeah, no shame.
You mentioned that after your ex, you had a spiritual awakening.
Yeah.
Was your ex toxic too? Or is this just more on your side?
Great questions. I love that. Yes, he was toxic as fuck. Sorry, I love you.
So you guys are still friends?
Yeah, we're still friends. I would say I'm still like very I don't think I burned any bridges with anyone in my life in that way, because I don't believe in ultimatums. I feel like having an ultimatum kind of just limits yourself. I feel like there's always room for growth with everyone, which is why, you know. And plus, like, this man literally marked everything that I wanted, like everything I want in a man, minus, can I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, minus like the drugs,
Oh.
and minus like the whole party scene, and you know, like all that. Like we like, you know, I don't want to talk too much about him,
Fair.
but you know, we went through a lot together.
How long were you guys together for?
We were together 3 years on and off.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that. That means like I was still hanging out with you during that time. So
Yeah.
that was probably during the off time.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with all the partying that you were doing.
It was definitely a lot.
You know how you mentioned that, like, oh yeah, you psychoanalyze people, you judge them. That's like your toxic trait. But you're saying that you're a 10 now, a 9. I feel like there has to be more than that. I mean, in a relationship, you're probably a little bit different than
Yeah.
just meeting someone right off the bat, right? Because if you're just judging them, that's just the initial impression.
Yeah.
So if you're in a relationship, you're gonna get to know them a little bit more.
Yeah.
And you're with someone for 3 years on and off. There's got to be some other things that you feel like is making you a 10 or a 9.
I think that the one thing, or like other things that, the reason why I say I'm toxic is because I literally like building relationships with people. I have expectations for you the moment I meet you. Like I usually don't want to waste my time with people who kind of don't have a vision for themselves or don't have goals, because that kind of like brings me down and like brings my vibration down. And right now I can't, like, there's no room for like that type of energy for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I've gone through my own shit for a very long time, and I like negative talk to myself. And that had like now in like I like now I'm like, my whole mindset has changed, my perspective on life has changed, the way I talk to myself has changed. And so whatever, and it honestly, it's all about energy. So the way like I'm receiving like people's energies now is much different than I was like a year ago. You know what I mean? Back then I was so like insecure. I mean, like I'm a little insecure now, but like, you know, I'm not as, now I'm like reclaiming my autonomy for myself. Cause growing up, I was so like of service to people, you know, like growing up, my mom was like, you know, she's one of my biggest role models, and she would like no questions asked. She would do anything for anyone, and then take initiative to do it for everyone. And that's the type of love that I was surrounded by, was her and my grandma, my Lola, right? And then my Lola, she also like, she did the same shit. Like she would just like do everything for anyone, no questions asked. She will literally cook you a whole meal every single day, and then like tuck you in bed and like fight whoever tries to like come at you, you know? And
Yeah.
so that like, I respect that so much. And no one, they're like literally the strongest people that I feel like are the ones who don't talk about their issues, and they really keep it to themselves. And those are the people that I like respect so much. And they were them. And so that's kind of like what I want to emulate, because I think it's so beautiful that they have that power, and they're so like, you know, it's just like very wise and very like respectful.
And here we are on the show where we talk about all our problems and issues.
It's getting hot. Like,
Perfect timing.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, you said you were insecure when you were younger. Was there anything that you felt like you were like specifically insecure about?
100%. I'm the biggest insecurity for me, and this is like so shallow, I don't know if it is, but it's like my smile. I hated my smile from the start. I hate it because like ever since I was little, I've been grinding my teeth. But that's whatever. But like now, I don't, like, aside from that insecurity, I don't think I have any insecurities, honestly.
Oh, that's good.
Because I kind of like accepted. Now I accepted, like, you know, this is like what God had planned for me, and like this is like, you know, like this is just how I am. And like, you know, if anyone looks at me and says anything like that I don't agree with, then they're not going to sit at my table.
I mean, at this point in your life, you only have so much time and energy for things, you know. So
Only
I can see
so
why
much
you're more
time.
selective, right?
Right.
So when you were younger, since you were at at service for people, were there a lot of people that you led in your life that you felt like you regret much later on?
You know what? If you asked me this question 2 months ago, I would say yes to like a lot of people. But I think now that I'm in such a good place in my life, when I look back at everything, I'm like, these things were supposed to happen for me to get here. I'm supposed to go through this darkness to like find that strength to get to where I'm at. I'm supposed to be here and survive. And like, I'm supposed to have these lessons to teach other people what I have, like, you know, like what I've gone through, or like what I was struggling with, so I can like help those people like get through their darkness.
So you said darkness and that you were struggling. Like what? Can you elaborate?
So yeah, and I don't talk about this much, but on Guys That Listen, because I love you guys so much, I was like a I did drugs. I I'm about to
I
say
did
this.
drugs. I did some drugs.
I did meth for 12 years.
Holy shit.
And it was like weekly. It was like every day at first and then weekly. And then like from that, it was like, you know, like a couple times a month. And then I would try to lessen it. And then it would go back to like weekly.
I would have never guessed, like knowing you through these years, you're like the most unassuming meth head I've ever met. So, but wait, how? Because like when you have an idea of someone who does meth, right? It's totally not you. So what, were you just really good at hiding it or?
So honestly, first of all, I need to give it up to my support system, God. And
Shouts to God.
You know, my whoever, all my friends who have been there for me. And now, like, you know, my family. But yeah, it was a very rough journey for me because like starting off, meth is very prevalent in the gay community, in the queer community. Yeah, because you like this drug is just offered to you and you're still trying to find yourself out as a queer person. You're trying to identify like who you are, right? So just imagine going to like hook up with someone and then that person has drugs and they're like, oh my God, like they, you know, smoke the pipe, like they hit the whatever. And so,
Yeah.
so like that happens and then you just do it. And then all of a sudden you just start to like, that becomes the norm. You know, a lot of queer people like don't have families to really guide them because once your family finds out that you're queer, they kind of just disown you, kind of just like put you on the back burner. Like you're not a priority. Right. So then you have to figure out everything for yourself. You need to find the right family for you. You need to choose the right people in your circle. Right. But those people as well, those queer bodies, those queer people, they're also going through the same thing as you. Right. So you need to find strong queer people.
Like a healthy circle.
You need to find a very healthy circle.
Not someone who's giving you meth
But
when you're trying to.
It's there's a lot of trauma bonding. There's a lot of like people who are still trying to figure out their identity and still learning what queer is. You know, not a lot of people still understand to this day. They don't understand what queer is.
Yeah. No, I can imagine.
Like even me, like I know there's like LGBTQIA, but now there's like a LGBTQIA plus, like I like something, I don't know, like it just keeps growing.
It gets longer and longer.
Right. So just going through what I went through, now I can look back and just, now I'm here, I'm alive.
How long has it been since you stopped?
I don't know if I can disclose that. But yeah, I don't know if I could talk about that. Like that's something that I don't want to like go back to.
I mean that's fine because
I'm
having a hard time
for a couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time like seeing the difference because you're so normal.
Yeah.
When I see you, you know, I would have never ever guessed, and I think that's the thing with meth versus other drugs is it's supposed to reveal itself in a lot of different ways, either in your mannerisms or even physically, right?
Yeah.
Like you don't seem like you have any kind of like anything wrong with you from doing it for so long.
Yeah.
Because 12 years is a long ass time to do anything. Even drinking for like 12 years, my liver hurts. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, and on top of that, I'm like doing like all these other drugs, and then on top of that, I'm drinking, and then on top of that, I'm like not doing anything good for myself, like my body.
So how are you functioning though? Because you seem like you're functioning.
You really have to push yourself. Because when I first started doing it, it was for me to function. It was for me to just like go through my day and just
really,
like, you know, just take a hit and go clean. Like,
wait, because okay, so I don't know anything about meth. I've never done it. So you know. Other drugs I have
so what it does, it kind of just, I mean, this is what it does for me. But when I first started, it kind of just like increases like whatever your thoughts are, whatever your emotions are. Like, let's say like, I want to be productive. I take a hit. I'm like so much more productive.
Oh, so it's like Adderall?
So like, yeah. So if like you're horny, like, and you smoke it, you're going to be extra motherfucking horny.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And so
I did not know that.
That's why like in the queer community or in the gay community, it's so prevalent because like, you know, we're very hypersexual, and like that drug just makes everything very like, you enter like is it id? your id. Yeah, so what it does that, and you will literally just be unhinged. You don't give a fuck about the world, and you'll just do whatever you want. That's why, like, when you, like, that's especially, like, you know, in hookup culture, finding people you trust is so hard. So over time, when people start to fuck with you while you're on drugs, that's the worst.
That sounds wild.
It's the worst. You know, like, I would be in Long Beach and I would be like, this was a long time ago, by the way. I'm a good Samaritan and I've been celibate.
For a couple months.
There's a halo. Okay. But yeah, so in hookup culture, you know, like, some of these young kids don't know what they're getting into. And a lot of them get taken advantage of, which is why, like, I'm trying to work toward, that's kind of my mission, is like kind of like creating safe space, like, not kind of, but like creating safe spaces for like underrepresented bodies or marginalized bodies or marginalized folk, you know, so that they have spaces to to have education, to learn like what is out there and how you can, like, you know, what resources you have.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what I'm starting to do now. I know, like, I'm a photographer right now. So like the thing that I can do and I have done is like photographing like these underrepresented bodies, and then you know, like telling their story.
Yeah.
Like interviewing them. And then, like, right now what you're doing, like, this is so beautiful.
That's exactly
But,
the point.
yeah.
You correct me if I'm wrong. This is just my perception of things, right? I do feel like with queer, like, underrepresented, like, more marginalized bodies, that there is more people taking advantage of them. I feel like that's quite common. I don't know why I feel that. So, you know, I like your opinion on that, and, you know, just kind of guide me through that whole, like, process.
So with my experience and with a lot of my friends who I've known for a very long time, our experiences, there are people who, you know, just objectify us. They'll take us and like, oh, you're submissive. Like, I'm going to do whatever I want to you. You know, I lost my virginity when I was 14.
Holy,
you know, because I
fuck.
didn't know what sex was. I like started going to the gym, and that's kind of around the same time my family found out. I was
Like, you lost
know.
your virginity first, and then they found out, or they found out before?
No, they found out before.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of, like, you know, I was just very uncomfortable at home, and it wasn't like a safe space for me. And I grew up with a lot of like really hard things that I don't want to talk about right now, but going, like, I would like, my safe space at the time was going to the gym. I would go in the pool, I would swim every day, I would work out, I'd do everything, you know. And then, like, just imagine me, a 14-year-old, after I swim, I go straight to the showers just to clean the chlorine off, and then some guy across from me would, like, literally just, like, pull his dick out and then start, like, jacking off. And then I don't know what, I didn't know how to translate that because that wasn't something I was taught. Like, you know, in Asian communities, like, we're not taught like what sex was. Or
Well,
like,
I mean, I don't think you're supposed to be taught that when you're 14 either. You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
no one's supposed to be doing that. And you know, you don't have to say his age, but I'm assuming he was, there was an age gap.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yes. And so, I mean, if my parents ever see this, I love you guys so much. I'm sorry you're like listening to this, but I have to speak my truth. But that was so this happened every day. So I'd go to the pool, and like the thing is, like, I didn't know what sex was, but when these guys would just approach me at the gym, they were so
You said guys?
guys, they were very aggressive. So they would walk up to me while I'm, like, you know, in the shower, and they would start to touch me. Okay. And then as a 14-year-old, I didn't know what that was, but it felt good, you know, like when they like touched me, because
Mikey.
you know, like, I wouldn't be like, there was nothing for me to like, there's no like, there's really no family, like, no one hugged, no one like really said I love you, no one said I love you, no one at all. It was just like their love language was, my parents' love language was like cutting fruits, and then you know, like going to work and then providing, right? But that's not what I needed, and that's why I was never home. I was in someone's garage every day, you know. And so that was kind of like what I went through up until I was 21.
Holy shit. I mean, at what point did you realize that, yo, this is kind of strange. It's not like a good thing that these guys are
21.
really.
So I got I have HIV. I've had HIV since I was 15.
Oh, what the
Yeah.
15
Yeah.
from those guys?
Yes, from whoever. I know the guy who gave it to me, but he's like he's long gone.
As in, like, he passed?
I don't know. I hope so.
Oh, what
But
the
I never
hell?
like I don't. He ended up moving because he like went into drugs, and so last time I spoke to him was literally I was like 21, and so it was, and that's why I'm
Dude,
toxic.
Mikey. Dude, Mikey. I know that
Yeah.
you said that you don't like to burn bridges, but geez,
Yeah.
like 14, 21, that's 7 years of your life. And to someone that was like possibly that gave you HIV, like that's fucked. Like, who did you talk to about that?
At the time, nobody. At the time, no one, because I was embarrassed. The first year I found out I had it, I just like put it in the back of my head, and I didn't address, like I didn't think of it for the first year, and then I just felt my body went through the whole HIV fatigue. I felt my body getting weaker really quickly, and it was like a really scary time for me, because that was actually the time where like no one knew like I was gay, and like I kind of had to go through this alone, and then I had like, it was just a lot for me to process.
Dude, yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That happened. That's insane to deal with that
And
by yourself.
It's so crazy because, okay, so I used to go to, like, at the time I used to go to 24 Hour Fitness, and like I still have a gym pass there, but now I go to like another gym. But even when I go back, I still see those same guys. And it's kind of like it. Now I'm at peace, but that's why, like, like just literally just 2 days ago, I just, for like my first time going back into the steam room or in the sauna, feeling comfortable, like I've never felt that in such a long time. And I'm 31 now.
Yeah.
So now I made peace with it, and I'm like, all right, like fuck everyone, like, those people, like, it had to happen. This was kind of like me in training to like kind of just help those like who really need it. And that's exactly what I want to do, is kind of just like help the youth kind of just maneuver through all that.
Yeah, because
or like just like keep like having, like, they have to be cognizant, and they have to like really keep in mind when you're putting yourself in hookup culture and like meeting people, like you have to be careful, because these people will take out, they might most of the time take advantage of you.
So, you know how you said that you had HIV body fatigue, and that's kind of how you realized it. Did you go get a test taken right after that?
So a year later, I got a test, another test, and it was on New Year's. And that's when I put my foot down, and I'm like, yeah, I need to take care of myself. But again, like, it was just at the time, like, as that teenager, like, who kind of like, I did feel stagnant with growing up. Like, I just felt like I was just out too much, and like at a young age, like not really being productive or like being there for anyone. Like, I felt like, like at the same time I felt suicidal, not gonna lie, like I should just like not be here, because like all these things are happening to me. And so there are a lot of times where I wasn't strong enough and I gave up. But, like, the man up there is like trying to take care of everything. And
did you ever, I know you said that sometimes you weren't strong enough.
Yes, I did try to commit suicide plenty of times. Like, I would try to like swallow pills. That's mostly it.
And
try to OT, but like I would vomit it like right after.
Oh, shit.
And so
Dude.
I would just remember like waking up all the time, like waking up, everything would turn white. I'd wake up, and then I would just like wake up in my pile of vomit, and then there was no one around, because I don't tell people that I'm doing this, you know. And then I would just wake up my vomit, clean up, and just like go about my day. I'm like, oh, I'm not supposed to die right now, so I'm just gonna like live my life.
Wow, I don't even know what to say. That's crazy too.
I'm blessed. I'm
Yeah.
so
I'm
blessed.
glad you're still here.
And I'm very happy I'm here. Is it too dark? Like,
No,
am
no,
I
no,
just,
no,
like-
no, no. I'm just,
Should I change the conversation?
no, no, no. This is
Yeah.
no. It's I feel like these things need to be talked about. To be honest, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason why we do this is because there's people out there that probably have gone through something similar or still going through it now, and
Yeah.
their story could definitely help because you went through it alone, and maybe hearing you go through this might
Yeah.
make people feel less alone, right? Because I think that's probably one of the most detrimental things is to feel like you're the only one going through this and going through it by yourself.
Yeah.
So,
Which you're not.
Yeah.
Like anyone who's going through what I went through, you are not the only ones going through this. And you need to reach out to everyone and talk about it. Like that, like if I could go back and tell myself, like talk to my younger self, I just want to like and even if I don't agree with what you're doing, I just want to go there, hug you, like listen to everything you have to say, and just like help guide you down the right path. That's if that's all I can do, even if you're being stubborn, and even if you keep going back into the things you don't want to do, I'm going to be so patient with you because I see that light, right? Which I've done for people in my life, and it always, always turns out for the best.
It's good to hear.
Yeah.
I kind of want to ask you, being that you've dealt with this for so long now, because I'm not super knowledgeable about HIV, even just like STIs in general. Like I'm not super knowledgeable to be honest,
Yeah.
and I should be. But what kind of advice would you give to people going through something like that right now? Because I'm sure there's a lot of like negative stigma that's like built through the years.
Yeah.
That might not even be true, because you're here with us, and I'm sure there is like a preventive measure to make sure that you stay in the best of health.
Right. So, first of all, even in our culture, there's a lot of internalized homophobia. So let's say you try to hook up with someone and they ask you if you have HIV, they'll literally ask you like, "Are you dirty?"
Oh, that's what that means?
Yeah, and that's literally that's the worst thing you can say to someone with HIV is like, "Oh, are you dirty?" Like, no, we're not fucking dirty. We didn't choose to have HIV in the first place. We didn't choose to have this. But you know what? It was brought upon us, and that's fine. But we just have that just makes us even stronger. But they'll ask you if you're dirty or you're clean. So that happens a lot, right? But my advice is, wear protection if you don't know their status, right? Also get tested at least once every 3 months. So you have you're if you have STDs or any of that. Also just be more mindful with who you're really connecting with, because some people just don't understand what they're worth, and they need time to understand that. But everyone's energy and their life is so sacred. You guys shouldn't be throwing it to people who do not give a fuck about who you are, right? Even if it's just hookup culture, at the very least, connect with them. Because these people, I don't know, one of my so what I believe is when you let's say when you make out with someone, you're giving a part of your soul to them, right? That in that moment when you exchange bodies, that's you're giving them your energy. And now where I'm at, because I used to I was 14, I used to hook up with 7 guys a day. It was bad. It was so bad. It was really bad. I used to go to LA. I used to not hook up with people here in Orange County, but I used to just go out to LA and just get fucked by everybody. But that was up until I realized what sex was and what HIV was. And I had people to tell me what could happen if I was careless.
Yeah.
I had that guidance.
What's your view on it now?
On HIV?
No, just on hookup culture, because back then, before you were really aware of what sex really was, and you were just fuck it, I'm just gonna sling my body out
everyone
there.
could just go fuck whatever. I really don't give a fuck. But now hookup, honestly, I'm very selective now with myself, with who I hook up with. I haven't hooked up with anyone in very, 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 very long time.
I make sure the editor
Um,
emphasizes that.
even like the other day, like, you know, someone was trying to like do some stuff, like try to show me like, you know, their dick, but like I just couldn't do it because that wasn't like where I was like vibrationally. I like couldn't do it because that was something that didn't have any meaning to it.
Yeah.
Like it has to have meaning. Otherwise, like I did all this work and I did all this survival for what?
Just go back.
You know,
Square
back
one.
then I would go out in the street and just pull people's dicks out. Okay. Yeah, like when I was like 17, all the way to like, yeah, like me and my best friend at the time, we used to just go out and it's like, show us your dick. Like we would just go out and just do that and be so much fun. But I lived that life and I saw like what it did to me and the people I started like surrounding myself with, which those people are amazing and I love so much. But me, I can't handle that because of what I went through, because of the things I've experienced and, you know, like my traumas.
Yeah. When you first found out that you had HIV, I know that you said that, you know, again, I just want to talk about this one part because I feel like it's very important for people out there. But you said you felt shame at first.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's what people feel with just STs in general, or STIs, or whatever you call them now. How do you go about bringing that topic up, like moving forward? Because obviously you have like a moral obligation now to like speak to people about these things, right? Because once you have it, unless it's like something that you know, cured or whatever it is, but aside from that, the things that you still have ongoing, you know, because I've known friends with, you know, like herpes and stuff like that, and it's just like, okay, well, now how do you approach this from now on?
Right. So exactly what you're doing now is like opening discourse, talking about it, like talking about it. Don't feel uncomfortable to talk about things that you don't know. Ask questions because like that's more commendable than not asking questions and not trying to learn, like not like being ignorant to like things like these, like to health and like things like that happen like everywhere. Like that's not right. Like you should be proactive about trying to learn these things, right? Because it's happening to everyone. It is affecting everyone. Straight people do it too. Like, you know, like straight people, they have HIV as well. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something that happens to us because of, you know, like how our system is and how society is.
Yeah.
You can't punish yourself because of something you don't want. You can't control the uncontrollables, you know?
Dude. Yeah.
So get checked, you know, regularly. If you're going to be sexually active, ask questions. No question is a dumb question, you know, because if you're willing to just like accept that you asked a dumb question, it's not a dumb question. There's a good intention to it because you want to learn.
Yeah.
Right. So like what you're doing now, I think that's like the first step is like trying to like just be open about it.
Do you remember the first time you had to talk to a partner or sniffing other about it?
Yes. I talked to everyone about like everyone that I ever like hooked up with. I talked to them about it.
Was it difficult the first time going
No,
about it?
they were, you know, like I think from what I've read, like usually okay, so I'm a bottom. There's like tops out there. Like so tops there's like a 90 like I think it's like 95.99% chance that they won't catch the virus even if they're like having sex with someone with HIV.
Really?
But because I'm on medication.
Oh, gotcha.
And I might be wrong, but because I'm on medication, they're less they're less likely to catch the virus
And
because
protection on top
I'm
of that.
undetectable.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
I have treatment. I am taking care of myself. I am getting checked every 3 months. I don't have STDs. Like, you know, like I'm not having sex. So we can live like, obviously we can live a normal life, normal, happy life.
Yeah, because everything that you're telling me about yourself now, it's almost like I would never know.
Yeah.
You know, whether it was like the drugs to the HIV, I would never know. Like these things, it's like we don't talk about it because it's almost like invisible to us sometimes, you know?
Right.
But it's out there.
Right.
It's
I give it up to my mom, my grandma. You'll never know what they went through.
Really?
It's like with your parents, with people like who really like went through those struggles, even your friends. There's friends that don't tell you everything that they go through, and that's why like I don't feel like I need to tell everyone that I was a meth head for like 12 years.
Yeah.
But you know, it's something that needs to be talked about in certain spaces, in appropriate spaces.
I agree.
For people to like resonate, for it to resonate, right?
Yeah, like right here. Yeah.
Right.
So I agree. Like everything that you're telling me now, I'm just like more cognizant of it because you're telling me about it, and I'm realizing maybe everything was under the radar. And I always, I tend to think things are okay with people, you know, because if they don't seem like distressed or they don't seem bothered, I'm like, oh, they must be okay. But again, like you, been going through a lot of stuff, and I would have never been able to tell. So I'm happy that you're here, like mentally, because
But honestly, I'm gonna be transparent here. If you ask any of my friends, they all experienced the worst of me, which, like when I went through, when I went through like that part of my life, I put them through so much, going through what I went through. I was so crazy.
What do you mean by crazy though?
I was so crazy. There were times where I'm like crazy and I would just run down the street naked. I was one of those. Like it was pretty bad. It was really bad for me. Like I would be like in Lake Elsinore or like Temecula running around naked in the streets, just living my best life.
Live your best life. I don't know if we can call it that, but living your life for sure. Wow. So I mean, being that you went through those things with your friends, because I've done terrible things with my friends around too. And
what was the worst thing you've done?
Man, I've ended up in jail, hospital a couple times, so a couple times too, not just like once. So just things like that, very like reckless, because I don't know if you felt the same way, but I was like, oh, as long as I'm not hurting anyone else and it's just me, who fucking cares?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Like, what was the worst thing you've done? Like, what was?
I think going to jail was
to
pretty
yourself.
bad.
To yourself.
Oh, to myself.
What is the worst? Like, for example, me, the worst thing I've ever done to myself.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
the worst thing that I think is like bad for me, aside from like hanging out with the wrong crowd. I think the worst part was like me drinking like a water bottle of like GHP, the date rape drug, at an after hours, and then I passed out like sucking dick, and
like you knew it was.
And then my best friend literally took me. Like he drove me home, and I pooped.
Holy shit!
In the chair, like everything in my body just came out.
Wait, you knew what it was when you were drinking?
No, I thought it was water.
Oh, fuck.
I thought it was water.
I mean,
I thought it was water.
Well, at least that's like you did it unknowingly. Like, and I thought you were just trying to get fucked up. I'd be like, damn,
no.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst thing I've ever done was probably just like pick fights with people.
Yeah.
Fights with the wrong people. Like,
like
people who could end your lives, and just have no care in the world. Like, fuck
what sign are you?
Okay, I get this a lot. What, you want to take a guess?
Fucking Capricorn or something?
No, I'm a Gemini.
Oh my god, you're a Gemini.
Yeah,
I see that. I should have like asked you questions.
Yeah, you should have. I was giving you a chance. But yeah, that's probably the worst thing.
Capricorn's like the opposite of Gemini, but yeah.
All right, yeah. But that's the worst thing for me, because I think at that point I started realizing more like how indirectly I'm affecting the people around me. Because
when did you think that?
I think more so as of lately, but I knew at that moment when I got into a fight with like this group of guys. I won't say who, because I think they're still looking for me.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Like that was a time where like I endangered everyone. Like people pulled guns out on us, people shot us. It was a group of us. It was my significant other at the time. I felt like she didn't need to even go through that. Like, why did I endanger everyone because I just want to fight? And then
isn't that the worst feeling?
It is. It's
the worst feeling.
Yeah, but you
like
don't
kill
go
me.
Yeah,
don't kill them.
Exactly.
They did nothing.
Exactly. You
don't
go
bring
into
your bullshit
that.
to people like who didn't do shit to you. That's like, I think that's the lowest thing you can do to someone.
Yeah.
Is go after people that did absolutely nothing to you.
Yeah.
That's the lowest vibrational energy, bitch. Like, I'm gonna be honest, like those like type of people like literally are so sick. And like, yeah, I'll say it, you guys, therapy girl. Like, yeah, because I've been it and I've seen it and I've fucking experienced it, and I've like, even I wasn't on the other end, but like, I try to talk to these people, but there's no reasoning, because like they're still living in that trauma, which is like, you don't have to live in that trauma. Like, you could change your mindset today.
Yeah.
You can change that mindset, and the world will be a much beautiful place for you as a person. And people will want you to grow, and people will feed into your soul, and they will give you good things, but they choose to not be good because of what? Their trauma.
Yeah.
But when you decide, if you want to wait for something bad to happen to you, for good things to happen, that's not going to happen unless you proactively look for like good things. But if you're reflecting these these bad things
negative
to
emotions.
other people, that karma bitch is going to get to you. Universe, whatever you put out comes back to you.
Yeah.
Always. It's all about energy, and it's all about like magnetism.
Yeah, and I tried to think of things like very differently now when it comes to people like just doing ridiculous ass shit or harming other people or just saying like foul ass shit. Like,
yeah, like, oh my God, wait, no, I can't say it. Go ahead. Sorry.
I try to look at it as like it comes from somewhere. You know what I mean? Like it's like these people very similarly probably did not want to be like that, but something in their childhood or growing up, their upbringing affected them so much that this is how they react now, or they think this is what they deserve. So they're going to put themselves in like really bad situations to where it's like, yeah, you can endanger your lives, because I'm not perfect. Like I've gone through shit like that. And I know why I was like judgmental or why I want to fight. And it was because of the things that I went through when I was younger.
Of course.
But now it's like, especially younger people. I got to give it to younger people because when I was young, I'm not saying that I'm old now, but like when I was really young, I was a dumbass, So I look at younger people. We all were. Yeah. So I look at young people, I'm like, okay, you're just going through your shit right now, So I give them a lot more patience, a lot more grace because back then, being the same age, I would be like, fuck this person. Right. But now I'm like, okay, like there must be a reason why you're the way you are.
Yeah.
I just had a recent like event. So I have an uncle that I pretty much never got along with. He's only like maybe 4 years older than me, maybe 5. And I just never got along.
Is he single?
He might be now as of late. But but yeah, we just never got along. He was always really drunk, which is funny because I drink too. But like he would just cause problems for everyone, right? He just did not care, just like reckless abandon for himself and everyone else.
Yeah.
And that's just why I saw him for like the longest time. It's like, you know what? This is my uncle. He's like idiot. Like, fuck it.
This is like where I come in and I like psychoanalyze that hoe. But like, sorry, continue. I know that's literally like what turns me on are people's complexities. And I like the more you have, like, I'm just like, oh my God, like it's not like, oh, I'm going to fix you, but like, I want to know your upbringing and your whole story. And I just want to like understand why the fuck you're such a degenerate. So like, I could like understand, like
exactly.
But like because I went through that shit,
exactly.
I was in that hole, and now I just want to like be there and ask you questions. Sorry, I don't mean to like digress from what you're talking about, but like I want to ask you questions to understand like where the fuck are we going wrong as a human civilization, but like in our community as like Asian people, especially like Asians here in Orange County. Because like our cult, like where we grew up, it's like different. Yeah, kind of.
It is different.
Yeah, it's different.
And I don't know. That's I see the same things that you see. Like I'm looking at other people. I'm
intrigued.
I'm like, why? Yeah, I'm intrigued.
Fucking intrigued.
But that part of me is different now though. Where I used to be like, oh, let me help you out.
Yeah.
Like now I'm, not so much directly because I just don't have the time.
Yeah.
And the patience for
I have the time. Come to me.
Do you? Because
I have the time. I have the fucking time.
Because that same uncle.
I don't work weekends. Let's go.
Lunar New Year's. I actually
Happy New Year's.
Hung out. Yeah, Happy New Year's to you too.
I
hung out with my family and he was like, "Can you give me a ride somewhere?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah.
And I usually don't do anything for him because I'm like, I'm sick of your shit, right?
Yeah.
But he was like, "Oh, can you give me a ride?" He said, "Nice." So I was with family. I was like, "Fuck, I'll give him a ride to do whatever he needs to do." And then for the first time, I think ever, he told me, "Hey, can you help me quit drinking?" And I was like, wow. I never thought he even saw it as a problem.
How did you feel about that?
I was kind of taken back a little bit because I was shocked that he would even open up to me about stuff like that.
Yeah.
But he was like, in a weird way though, because he was like, "Can you help me quit drinking? Can you help me find a pill that'll make me stop drinking?"
Yeah.
I was like, maybe there's something like that out there, but I'm not aware of it. But he was like, I just want to stop because I think it's really affecting me. Because he says he has like 20, 30 beers a day
Yeah. Damn, bitch.
to himself.
Hell no.
He said after
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
he said he clocks out like a
God.
30 pack like that. So I was like, oh shit. So at least he, realizes that he has a problem.
Yeah.
But also he's so self-destructive that I'm like, I don't know if I can. Like if I could find a pill and just this magic pill and just give it to you,
Yeah.
I could do that. I could do. But I can't watch over you. I can't be there to say that, hey, you're fucking up. Like you should probably take a different route or like keep.
Because you're worried about your own self.
Yeah, I don't want to get caught in the
Yeah.
crossfire. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I feel bad in that way because he
Don't
wants help.
feel bad. Don't feel bad. Because why don't feel bad? Because first of all, sorry, are you done talking?
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, wait, let me fix my skirt because it's my fucking thighs are sweating on this shit.
His thighs
And
are
it's all-
chafing.
Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is like, okay, so yeah, I did meth, right? So
So yeah, I did math, right?
yeah, and like I'm good now. I'm in a really good place. I have like the right support system. I'm very happy. I'm going to therapy. I'm like doing the things. I'm being proactive. I'm getting professional help.
Yeah.
But those people, and I've been there, okay? I've been there. Ask all my friends. I've been there. Those people who want to change, but who keep going back because they don't have that discipline or that control. I'm speaking from my experience. They don't have that discipline control, or they're always giving in to temptations. Like, you have to just let them be on their own, figure it out. Yes, you can walk with them. You can hold their hand in the beginning. But you also have to have boundaries for yourself. Okay, boundaries. Ding, 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 ding. Like, that's the word of the day. Like, boundaries.
That's been the word of the year.
Yeah, you have to create boundaries for yourself because you don't want to be like, you don't want to like fall into like your own disparities, right? Because just because this person is going through their struggles doesn't mean you have to always be there for their struggles, right? You can create boundaries, but you have to not be avoidant if you love them. Not be avoidant, communicate and say, hey, this does not make me feel comfortable and I have to cut you off the next time you do this. And you have to set those boundaries. Then that other person, let's say me, like let's say you say that to me, then the next time I do it, then I'll be like going into it, I'll be like, all right, if I do this, so-and-so is not going to be in my life. Am I willing to do that for my growth and for me to figure my own shit out? Or am I going to listen and kind of like work on it and try to be proactive? If not, you have to compensate in other ways. Like if you fuck up again, do something that's going to compensate for that fuck up, right? Go to rehab or go to therapy or do something, change your environment, drop the people who aren't feeding into your soul, right? That's like really big. But yeah, so like I guess like with your uncle, like whatever your relationship is with him, like he's not gonna figure it out if you're gonna be that crutch, in his life, right? So there has to be a time where everyone has to be like, no, here's a wall. Like you can't access our energy right now. You need to figure it out because you chose this life.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And through that darkness is where you find your strength. Through that darkness, your uncle will find his strength and he will become a better person. Right.
Yeah.
You can check in if you really love him in that way. You can check in. You don't have to like dispose of him because he is a human.
Yeah.
And if he's willing to change, you shouldn't treat him like he's like some fucking degenerate.
Yeah, I think this is the first time that I didn't really think that as much.
We don't choose to be drug addicts. We don't choose it. Just the fucking society just happens and, like we get caught up in it.
Yeah. Was there a turning point for you when all this changed? Because it's not like you did it overnight.
There are so many turning points. I just have to establish that right now. And I'm so embarrassed, but there were so many turning points. So many. And honestly, like, I wasn't like, I didn't look at my higher up, my like, like God. I didn't believe in God. I didn't believe in any of that.
You didn't.
I just, like whatever life threw at me, I did. I also didn't believe in myself, so whatever happened. I just roamed the streets. I just like went out there and I just, winged life for what it was. And that wasn't the right thing for me.
Yeah.
And I feel like for everyone, it's not the right thing to do. You have to create structure. You have to have goals. You have to have a purpose. Find that purpose. If you haven't found that purpose, find it. Like, do things that fulfill your soul. Little things that make you happy, things that come organically, that come easy to you. Like, find that part of you and then work towards that.
Oh.
And then everything in your life will come to you. Everything. I kid you fucking not. Everything's going to come to you when it comes naturally.
That's awesome advice.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why I made this podcast was because I feel like people in general don't have enough people to talk to in order for them to feel like, oh shit, there's similar people like me going through the same things, and I feel like that is definitely more prevalent in men. We feel like we have less people to talk to, or it's not as accepted to talk about. Why?
Yeah, I can ask why.
I think it's just in the idea of what like a man's supposed to be is like you handle shit on your own. You know what I mean?
Who said that?
I think
Who said that?
My pops probably did. I'm pretty sure a couple other male figures in my life has said that. And I'm just unlearning that as of late.
Yeah.
It's people always tell me like, oh, and it's funny because like a lot of people who gravitate towards me, they always let me know if you need help with anything.
I feel like masculine, feminine energy is so important to be cognizant of. Like, your masculine, like, there's a lot of like masculine energy is very external, right? Feminine is very internal. I think you need to just have that balance and understand, like, it's okay to tap into that feminine side, or it's okay to talk about your feelings. It's okay.
Can you explain to me what the like feminine internal means?
Honestly, this is just a feeling. I just feel like this is like what I feel and what I believe in is like guys are just very like they're kept to themselves because of our society and the way it was built. Like, we're like, like we grew up in a very hegemonic patriarchal system. Okay, understand that. And because of that, like, there aren't spaces for men. Well, back then, there aren't spaces for men to really talk about their feelings or talk about anything to anyone other than their partner, right? Like, talk to your feelings about, or their close friends, right? But it shouldn't be like that. You should feel free to talk about it to anyone. Otherwise, if you keep it in, you start doing toxic ass shit. Like you start to project and you start to like go off and do dumb shit, and you start to like find that like side bitch like that you want to like talk to about your feelings, and it's just like, and it just all goes downhill from there. But when you don't give a fuck about anyone's validation and you can talk about your feelings openly to the people who matter in your life, I think that's when things start to like make more sense. When you live your truth and you like to the full extent, like, everything and the universe will just give everything back at you, and it'll give you like the tools and everything for you to be happy and to fulfill you, and that happens. Like, I don't doubt that. And I like, tell me someone who like spoke their truth and like bad things really fucking happened to them. Because you have to know them. Because like, if you just hear this but you don't know their full story, like if you hear someone like outside of like on media or whatever, like, you don't know their full story.
Yeah, I mean, that's hard for me to determine, because when you say speak their truth, I don't know if they're telling me the truth. Sometimes I'm just like, oh shit, like, why are you like this? And maybe I am coming off as a little judgmental, because I'm like, holy fuck, some of the shit that some of the people I know say, I'm like, damn, dude, like, you got some fucking issues, So I don't know if it's like not their truth, or if it's something that's been very warped because of something that happened to them when they were younger.
So I like just recently I got like December 14th specifically. I feel like that's when my reality shifted. That's when I'm like more I'm kind of more like aware of like my surroundings and like what, like, because everything is energy, right? Even matter, like this table, this microphone, you, like, we're all atoms, right? And it's all energy. So if you just think about it, like, whatever you what was I getting at? Like when, and it's all about frequency as well. Do you know anything about frequencies?
Other than like the sound stuff, not too much.
So it's kind of just like, it's like us tuning, like when you're living your reality, it's kind of just like you tuning into, and I can't like go back and reference someone because I haven't done that deep dive into research, but it has worked for me, and it has like, everything makes more sense now because I like, that's now like how I see the world is through like frequency and energy. But like if you like, it's like tuning into a radio station. Like when you tune to like a low frequency, you start to, you're more exposed to like lower frequency energy, right? So let's say you're toxic, right?
Yeah,
Let's say you're toxic, and let's say that's low frequency. You start to meet more people with lower frequencies, right? Which there's a lot of those people because we're still trying to figure out they're still trying to figure out their traumas, and they're still trying to like figure out their life and who they are, right? That's lower frequency. But when you tune to a higher frequency, you're more selective, you're more, strategic, and you're more you're more empathetic towards somebody, right? You understand things because of like what you've been through. That's kind of like higher frequency energy, right? Yeah, you're more protective of that because people at higher frequencies, a lot of people gravitate towards those people, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll gravitate towards you, and if they have a lower frequency, they can lower your frequency as well, and then you'll be stuck with those people. Which is fine if you like, really care about those people.
So you talked a little bit about boundaries, right? I'm assuming you usually need boundaries with lower frequency people.
I just found out what boundaries was in January, so I'm so excited.
New to your
talk about
vocabulary.
this. I literally found out I was like, boundaries, like what is
What
that?
the hell is that?
Yeah, because I was so giving. I'm so submissive to everyone, right? Like, oh, like even my work, like I do photography, like I would shoot people, and then they were like, oh, like, like I only have this much. This is my budget, and I would just be like, okay, yeah, sure. It's like let's do it. But like they don't see that my work is literally like accumulation of everything, my whole life experience and how I perceive the world, and everything that I put into my work is what I'm giving you. And you're going to lower my price to this much for an hour? That's crazy. I've done so much to get to this point, and that's so disrespectful, and you're devaluing my work now. And now I'm learning to create boundaries thanks to all my friends. Shout out to Giselle. Love you, girl. But, like it's something that, and my therapist, I love you. I can't say your name, but she was on the show.
Okay.
Yeah. But she's not my therapist anymore because she's my friend. She's my friend.
That's like a whole nother conversation on its own. Like pricing, as far as like creative work, is so like touchy as far. Like when people ask for discounts, it's because it typically, and to be fair too, it includes creatives and non-creatives, because there's this thing about people who like they don't know your whole life and your life story and what your experience amounts to. So especially if you're not willing to like be strict on your own pricing, it's gonna be really easy for other people to be loose on your pricing. That's interesting that you mentioned it, because it's like an accumulation of your life experiences and this is what you create due to that. Yeah,
like I've created my eye based off of like everything that I've done and like I've seen, Plus, us, like we have imposter syndrome. Right? A lot, like it's very like prevalent in the Asian community as well. But like imposter syndrome played a huge part in me not knowing how to like price my services. Right? And that's like kind of like the downside of like trying to like do what we do, is like these creative like services. Like it's hard putting a price on it because you love your work so much and you really want to like share it with people. But like some of these people will take advantage of you, and they'll undervalue you, even though they see like how hard you're working. They don't care about it. They don't care for you.
No, and this is something that I've personally noticed through any kind of creative work that I've done for money, is that the clients who typically ask for discounts are the worst fucking clients. They're the fucking worst clients. And it's funny because I talk about it in like creative work, like photography, but I've experienced that through everything, dude. Like we've had, clients who book our Airbnb and they'll ask for discounts.
Yeah.
The worst fucking clients.
Yeah.
And before I didn't know that you could ask for discounts on Airbnb. I'm like, who does that? But then now that I have one, like people ask for discounts and they usually will fucking like drain you, right? Like they're gonna fucking nickel and dime
And
you
that's
for
when you
everything.
hate your job.
Yep, that's when you hate your job.
But again, that's why like I left my 9 to 5 because like I left my 9 to 5 because I didn't want to hear what other people had to say and like tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, exactly that. Like when someone starts to do that and they start to like make you like rethink about what, like, like they like kind of put you down like in your own trade. Like I think that's like it's so wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I try to think about it in both perspectives, right? As someone who does it and also someone who like hires people, because from someone who's not in that field,
Yeah.
they probably look at you like, oh, you're clicking buttons. Like, why am I paying you so much to click buttons, right?
Yeah.
And then in your head,
What is
click
click buns?
Like take photos.
Oh, okay.
Like you're clicking buttons when you're taking
Click
photos.
buns.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? I'm like demeaning like what
I
you're
thought
doing.
you were just like, yeah.
No,
okay.
yeah. So, but in their eyes, like that's the way they understand things, right? They don't
Yeah.
understand that it takes a lot to get to the point that you're at right now. So now that you work with like different clients and you know what boundaries mean, how do you approach clients now moving forward?
I'm very transparent. I mean, now I would say I'm kind of like polishing up like my services and how I carry my business. Back then it was a little like disorganized, and like because like a lot of my clients are like there's an amicable like relationship between me and my clients because like me, like I'm always like happy-go-lucky, like I'm always good, like I feel like I'm good energy, like I'm just like always like like lively, and like I think that's like a lot of my clients like they think I'm like trying to be like a close friend to them, or like I'm trying to like be close, like have that friendship, right? But like like again, like for me to survive, I have to like I have to like, what do you call it, like separate that.
Yeah, draw that line.
Because when it gets to me being friends with them, and it sucks sometimes, but when it gets to me being like close friends with them, I'm gonna want to give you that discount. I'm gonna want to do more things than I have to do, right? And that's not sustainable for me. And so far now, okay, back then, those people will say, okay, cool, Mikey loves me, like I'm gonna take advantage of the discount. But now, which is so beautiful and so like I love my clients, like now I love my clients because they will literally stop me, like, don't talk, like we're paying your full price, I'm gonna do this for you, I like you work hard, and like we see that, right? And that's why now I've honestly, I'm like so blessed to have these people in my life, because like they're even like going out of their way to like help me like manage my time in my life, and like they give me advice, and like like they're telling me like, oh, these people shouldn't be just accepting your discounts, they shouldn't be like asking you to like lower your price, they shouldn't, right? Because they don't see that you really love your job. Like if you saw me work, which you haven't, but like when I work, I'm bouncing off the walls, right? Because I'm like, oh my god, this angle, like, oh my god, this, like, I'll like go out like, oh, do this, do that, like, wait, can we just like shoot a couple more minutes, like I'm not gonna add it to, like, I'm not gonna like count it as an add-on, but like I just want to shoot more just to get like more shots, right? Because I love, like, my clients come to the shoot, they're all prepared, and they like, it's an art, right? And we're both collaborating, and we're like creating something so beautiful. But like when people do like ask for discounts or do that, then they're like, now I'm like cognizant, like now I realize like you don't see like the potential of what we're creating, like you obviously can like use this content to like market, and like you can push it, but no, you're not, because like from my experience, like those people are like being really lazy about the content we're creating. I hold a lot of value in my work, and I've been through a lot to like, I've researched a lot. I like, you know, I've like self-taught myself to get to this point because I love what I do.
Yeah, that's fair. And this should show up
Yeah.
in your pricing. So that's good. I'm glad.
Yeah,
I'm
my
glad you're
prices
there.
are reasonable. It's not like $1,000 an hour. Okay.
Yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Yeah, but my
Okay,
pussy
cool.
is.
So,
I'm kidding.
so I want to talk
kidding.
about, this is something I'm curious about, but in general, dating between like straight males and queer males is very, very different. I mean, even just your lifestyle already from what you're telling me is like pretty insane, because I don't know what it is.
What
but
is
at least
it?
for me,
What is it? What is it?
I'm curious. Now I'm gonna ask.
Help!
you know?
I'm scared. What is it?
It seems like you're specifically you a lot more open to a lot of things, like in general. So like
Selectively, yes.
now, yes, right, boundaries.
Yeah.
And I like, for me, like I am very closed minded about a lot of things, just like automatically. Like I can't even online date. That's like something that's not even on my radar.
I
You
can't
know?
even do that anymore. That's crazy.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
how is it for you now? Like considering
Why
all
don't you
things?
online date? Sorry.
I don't know. I just feel like there's something about putting yourself, I think, putting yourself out there, and it's just like to a bunch of random people who don't really know you and trying to give the best first impression ever. It just feels weird to me.
Yeah.
And again, nothing wrong with online dating.
Yeah, but also being like a straight male, like I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure there's a lot of pressure, especially finding these girls who obviously you want like a baddie, like you
Yeah.
want a girl who carries herself well and like who like makes a living for herself and who can support herself.
Yeah.
I get that. There's a lot of there's definitely pressure like approaching women like that. I see it. I'm like surrounded by a lot of them. So
Yeah. And I actually don't mind it more so as in like in-person thing.
yeah.
But I just feel like you have to play a totally different game online. Right?
Don't see it as a game though.
Don't see it as a game.
Don't.
Oh, really?
Just like if they don't fuck with you, then they're not worth your time. You need to. So when I date, I literally like, I will give them the worst side of me. Like if like I've never been on like a nice date, like a candlelit dinner. I've never done that before. Like I've done like the whole like, oh, let's go to the movies, whatever. Like, but no, I've never been, because I like back then I never respected myself. I never held myself to a higher standard. Now, which is why I've been celibate. Like I hold myself to a higher standard, and I'm not a fucking, no offense to all the hoes out there, but like I'm not a fast food restaurant. I'm like a wine and dine girl. Like take me out to like a nice place, you know, even if it's Jack in the Box, bring a candle, like make it feel like it's
That's fair.
nice.
That's fair.
I'm not asking for too much. It's the gesture and the intention that's put into it.
Yeah.
If you don't have a lot of money, that's fine. I don't give a fuck. Right? Like fucking buy me a fucking, I don't know, those like Oreo Hershey's like bars, but like put like a little ribbon on it.
Yeah.
You know, like write a letter to me, like
I mean, that's chill. That's chill.
symbolizing how much you are obsessed with me. You know, like, you know, that's my love language. By the way.
Where you lack in funds, you make up an effort, right? So I
Yeah,
see that.
right. Like money it shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
It should be like your intention.
Yeah, but I was just thinking more so of when I mean online dating is like you present the best version of yourself online. You know what I mean? Like your
Do I? No, I don't.
You don't.
The
But
hell fucking
But
no.
do you feel like, okay? So now speaking as like a straight guy, like
I don't.
don't you feel like for straight guys, if you don't do that, then you would just get no hits? Like then you don't even get your foot through the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Kind of. I think it's more complex than that.
Oh.
Like from my experience with my girlfriends, like seeing them like talk to men online, it's like you'll never be that guy to them unless unless you show your credibility through gestures. Like gestures, like any gestures. For example, like I told you I'm not gonna talk about my ex, but wait, we're talking about online. Okay, so like for my girlfriends, like let's say like a guy will, like you'll hit up someone and you'll talk to them, just be like, hey, like what's your Venmo, and you send her like $10 for coffee or like breakfast. That will literally catch their attention. The girls that you're wait, let me
What the fuck? I did not expect you to say
no,
that.
but listen, there's a whole thing to it. If you want a fucking baddie, just know that these girls, a baddie, as in like like a woman who has everything that you want.
Yeah.
Okay. everything, even though she can like support herself. Imagine all these men hitting her up and trying to like get at her. Okay, imagine all these men. You need to do something unique, something different. And if it's just you being nice, if it's you being fucking nice to her and like just being like cordial and like nice and like taking out to dinner, which every man has done that she's talking to, what makes you different? Nothing makes you different.
Exactly. So that's
not the way you dress, not the way you care about your family, not the way like no, none of that makes you different. That's why like girls like funny guys. Like you know, sure. Like girls like funny guys because like being funny is like creative and it's different.
Yeah.
But like you also have to like connect with them in that way, but do something different. And what I do, if I'm not what I do, but like what most girls think is different is when a man will literally be like, here's $10, go get some coffee and like breakfast or whatever, you know, like that's on me.
Interesting.
Because no, guys don't do that. Guys don't fucking do that. I don't know why. That's literally the easiest thing you can do. That's the easiest thing you can do.
I think that's so.
It's like that's like kind of like your access to their energy, because women and you know gay people like, or like a lot of like us. When I say us, I mean like more submissive beings. Like we kind of like it's hard for us to trust people. So when you do these like acts. Where like okay, like he's kind of like you know, winning brownie points or whatever. Like he's kind of like doing something different, but it's an act. It's not just words. Like that's something that you know, like I can like think about. That makes it like you know that will make him different.
That is so insane.
It's insane, right?
It is insane. It is insane that it gets to a point where like I understand because if you're getting yourself like a baddie, right, then they're gonna have a lot of guys who
like
hit them
a
up.
Wife.
So. Huh?
Like if you want a wife, you know, like even a wife, like someone who's like really like these women, their energy, they feel like their energy is so sacred, right? Like they're not gonna go they're gonna hang out with like guys or whatever, but they don't let these guys do anything to them, but they'll just take their money, right?
Yeah.
Happily. They'll take their money happily. Because they fucking deserve it if they're putting $500 worth of makeup on their face. But, you know, like...
Yeah, Botox ain't cheap.
Yes, exactly. Like, it takes a lot of work to be a woman, especially in this world today, this society. There's, like, very high standards in beauty, right? That sets them in that stage where guys will look at you and they'll compare you immediately to the whole fucking world of women, right? So what's going to make them different is their like how their appearance, but like them being to themselves, right? Versus like someone who isn't to themselves. Someone who's like, you know, the opposite. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? So like it's like whatever you want, but you have to like understand. That's why it sounds crazy that in this globalized community that sending money through Venmo or sending money at all or sending gifts has to be like the axis of energy.
That's insane. Yeah, because that's exactly why I don't online date. You know, it's like that's to be able to capture someone's energy through money. I feel like it's just such a weird exchange, even though that's honestly how you usually do it anyways, right? You go to dinner, you pay for dinner, is an exchange of money for time almost. But I don't know. I think for me, I just can't bring myself to do that. You know, like I feel like it's kind of like you're paying up front for something that you don't know you're okay with yet.
It's a gamble.
It's a gamble. You know what I mean? And you're paying for it with your money and your time. And for me, I think going I don't want to say organic fucking way of doing it because that sounds fucking like, I don't know. But just meeting people out in what you do feels the most natural to me. Right. Yeah. And I feel like I get a taste of what they're like already.
They're pussy?
No. I mean, no.
When's the last time you ate pussy?
It's been a long time. Time. Yeah, I've been celibate for quite a long time. Yes, celibate. Probably a little bit longer than you, but you know, for a long time. Yeah, it's just like I get a vibe from them. And I'm like, okay, cool. Like this is something I can see that might make sense, you know? Yeah. And I think doing it online where it's kind of like, and a lot of guys, since they don't get hits, like I know I have friends who online date, and it's like it's a matter of spray and pray. You know?
Aren't
Like,
you so horny right now? Like, aren't you so fucking horny?
No.
Even
No.
though you've been celibate?
No, you know, I mean,
What porn are you watching, sir?
I don't. So it's actually funny because now it's like my sexual urges is less than it's ever been. Weirdly enough.
That's actually not good.
Yeah, I know it's not. You know, but I do find moments where I'm like, damn, I kind of miss that. You know,
Yeah.
Like I do think about it from time to time, but it's not like as prevalent. It's not the thing that controls me. You know what I mean?
What is your sexual kink?
Choking, I guess, is cool.
I love that.
I
That's
used
good.
to have a thing for like,
On a scale through 1 to 10, how hard do you choke? Like, can you choke my wrist right now?
can I choke your
Yeah,
wrist?
choke it to what you like. Wait, that's it?
I mean, you fucking scared the shit out of me.
No,
I'm like,
just harder. You think I haven't like?
probably something like that.
You broke my fucking wrist. I'm sending an invoice. That's so rude.
He's never gonna be able to take photos again. This is shutter finger.
We
I feel
love
like
that.
for
We
me-
love a chokester.
For me, it's like I feel like there always needs to be a connection first.
Yeah.
It's just like what you were saying, you know. And I feel like online reading text and not even meeting the person is really hard for me to get that.
Yes.
That's why, you know, some people are really good at DMing. I'm not fucking good at that shit at all. Like, I
Yeah.
can't do it. Like, I just don't vibe with it. Like, even if I find the person attractive, I'm like, I don't know. It's just not quite there.
You know, like I've had my days where I didn't message people. Like not. Okay, so I'm the type who will literally not message people at all until you
message back or
until you message me.
Uh-huh.
Like my type is someone who's like literally obsessed with me. Like
Oh.
I want you to be so obsessed. You fucking like know if I cut my toenails or not. Like I don't know. Like that's my type.
So you want someone who's basically already giving you the green light.
I want someone because like again like I don't know. I could just I feel like I could feel energy. Like I could feel energy. Like I could feel like if you're passionate. That's stupid. Let me just scratch that out. Scratch that out, then. Okay. Like I feel like like you know when you meet someone first impression
Mhm.
because I meet like everyone that I've met dating wise or like just talking to because I don't really date. I don't date. But talking to you can just read their energy off of like their first impression, right? How they carry themselves, how they talk to you, like what questions they're asking, you know, like
Yeah.
if they are aware of your boundaries or like if they're aware of your uncomfortable or like if they're willing to take initiative or like fight for the bill, you know, because I'm that bitch who will fight for the bill even if you're taking me on a date. But if you can like literally like fucking give me a black eye and still pay for it, I'm like, wow, I'm in love, you know? Like, you know, that's like so commendable. Like, wow, you really like do that for me? Like, you know, like I think that's, or like if you like I'm going to the restroom and you like walk away and then like, you know, like I'm like, oh, can I have the bill? And you're like, I already paid for it. Like, I think that's so, I love that. I fucking love that.
I mean, as Asian people,
You know?
we fucking are so good.
that
at
shit
that.
I would
We're
do.
so
That
fucking
shit
good
I
at
would
that.
do.
Yeah,
If you
yeah.
could beat me to things that I would, you know, I would do. Like,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, you're so aligned, but like better, you know?
Yeah, but that's like in our culture too, though. You know what I mean? Like
No.
I've hung out with other
Is
friends.
it? Is
I
it?
think
Is
so. I
it?
think
Is it?
so.
No, it's
Dude,
not.
Asians fighting for
It's
the
in our-
bill is fucking everywhere.
No, I do it for people I don't even fucking know.
Yeah, yeah.
They don't
Exactly.
do that shit. People I hang out with, like
Maybe
a lot
people
of
you hang out
people.
with.
Okay, a lot of people I hang out with. Yes, majority of my friends will do it, right? Or will like you know like will like no, you're not fucking paying, bitch. Like I'm paying for the fucking bill. Like if you do it, I'm not gonna ever talk to you again. You know,
Maybe
like,
it's your friend group then, because like my friend group, we fight for the bill
All the
all the
time.
time.
What
To
if
where
you-
we had to slowly be like, yo, like let's not let this person pay so fucking often, you know, because some people be so good at it.
that's a write off for me. Like if you can't fight for it, like I don't know, I can spend time with you anymore because like you can't like meet me there. You know.
Yeah. I mean, it also depends too, because our group is fucking huge, or my group is gigantic, right?
Yeah.
And it's like you're
Like
gonna pay for like 20 heads, like
Yeah.
it gets expensive.
Oh, true.
But yeah, one on one, I do.
No,
agree
but
with
I
that
love
more.
that.
Yeah,
Which I'm gonna like also digress. Like being a straight cisgender male, like you guys have so many privileges. So many privileges. That's why you can do the things you do.
Can we go into that? I kind of
Yes,
want to know what you mean
100%.
by,
We need to
by
go into
privilege,
that. It's
cisgender male.
privilege. Privilege is
Okay.
another word of the day. Like
Okay.
I think privilege is something a lot of people take. What is it? Like
Take for granted.
they take for granted.
There you go.
Yes,
New word of the
give
day,
it up.
for
Give it for
granted.
granted. I feel like a lot of people take for granted, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't realize like you have your senses, you have your body parts, you have a family,
Yeah.
you have a car, you have all this. You have like air condition, you have a roof over your head. Like you don't, and you're still complaining. You're complaining. So and so said something to you.
Mm-hmm.
No, you fucking hoe. Like no, you. Those are the things you shouldn't be talking about. Like, you have everything. You have everything that you need to be where you want to be. But you're still complaining about what so and so said about you, or you're complaining about what so and so is dressed like, or how that person is, or if they're gay. Like, what the fuck? What put you in that space to really think that way?
So is there anything, because you said cisgender male, like
Yes.
is there anything when you're talking about privilege that's like specifically, or is that the things that you're naming off right now?
Yeah, so when I'm talking about like hegemony or like fucking like the patriarchy,
Okay.
right? Like, or like with our society, like I feel like
Because I want to know.
I feel
wanna
like straight
understand
I
better,
feel like
so.
straight white males
Okay.
have the most privilege, right? Straight white Anglo-Saxon males have the most privilege in our world, right? They can do whatever the fuck they want, right? They have generations set up for them where they can live the life that they want, right? They have the privileges to do a lot, and it's what they do with their privilege. But people who have less privileges, let's say like a black trans woman, a black trans person of color, they have the least privilege to do what they want, right? They can't go down the street and look how they want to look, like be who they are, like let's say like at a young age, or like walk with their partner without shit getting thrown at them, which
Yeah.
happened to like me and my best friend. Like we were, like which happens all the time to queer people. Like we'll walk in like a straight place and like people would like say shit or like yell at us or like throw shit at us, right? Like it shouldn't be like that. We just want to live a fucking normal life.
Yeah.
Like we don't want to we don't care about you. Like we just we're not like, and that's the thing. Like straight people think like fucking they sexualize gay people. So when they see gay person, they're like, oh shit, like gay, like dick. No, like we're not thinking about that. We're thinking about just like how to survive and like how to like stay out of people's business, like have like create boundaries so like we're not fucking with people so that they don't like feel disrespected. That's what we're thinking about. We're not thinking about any of that. But you're like straight people, we're toxic. They're thinking about like, oh, this faggot, like they just want my dick. Like, no, you don't want your smelly ass fucking smegma dick. No, we don't want none of that. We just want love. Okay, does it make sense?
No, it does. It does.
Yeah. So okay. So going back, privilege.
Yeah.
Like I feel like honestly, like what I think is like people with the most privileges, like I feel like those people like who is aware that they have privileges, right? But when someone's abusing those privileges, right? So when I see people in my life who are abusing those privileges, I'll ask them questions to see what type of person they are, right?
Is there a specific situation that you're talking about that stood
Right now,
out
I
to you?
can't think of one, but let's say, for example, like, no, I can't think of one right now.
Yeah,
It's so
'cause-
weird. Usually, I could just like come up with it, but I can't
Yeah.
really think of it right now.
Because the only thing I could personally think of that I see people abuse as far as privileges go is pretty privileged. Like I see that all the time when if you're a
Oh.
guy, you go to Vegas, you'll see it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
That's the only one that I could think of revolving the people around me. Meaning that I'm sure there are other people who do it. I just don't surround myself with those kind of people, so I don't really see it as often.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm just like not recognizing it.
Yeah, so let's say, for example, like, let's say like in the workforce, like let's say like I go out to eat and I'm like I'm eating my food and the waiter comes and the waiter's trying to take my order. Like I've had friends who like would treat the waiter like, like they're lesser, like they're not
Oh,
human, right? And they're
yeah.
like, oh, like, or like if they find a hair in their food, like this has happened where like they would bring out the dish and there's like something missing, and they're like, where are my mashed potatoes? Like just the way you like talk to them, like just the way that that person had like
Yeah.
talked to them, like you have to understand that you're here, yeah, you can afford this restaurant, but then like this person's working and like working really hard just to be here, and you don't even know this, like if this person has to like commute, like
Yeah.
you don't know any of these things, and for you to bring this negative energy to someone who is less privileged of you, because you have a lot in your life, like that person has a lot, and the way you're still talking to this person is like so ugly. Mind you, I don't talk to that person anymore.
Oh,
But
okay. I was gonna
yeah,
say.
yeah.
I was gonna say. I feel like I don't.
I'm just like, for what? Like, we're on it together.
Yeah, but those are kind of
Kumbaya.
they always say those are the kind of the worst people. You know, the people who treat people in the service industry like terribly.
Well, like that person's rebuttal is like, oh, like this is their job. They should know what they're doing, and they've done this like every day. I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Like, no, that's crazy for you
I
to
agree
say
with that.
That's privileged,
Yeah.
like talking,
Yeah, I agree with like them doing their job. That's 100% fine. But I also do think that we're human, right? We have our
Yeah.
off days and we have our on days. So it's like being understanding of that. Yeah, I agree with that 100%
Yeah.
too.
Can I say something, like
Yeah.
just to put in perspective, like where like privilege, like when like as a queer person, and like a lot of my queer friends, like like a lot of like that I grew up with, we what we what we love seeing is when like a straight couple walks down the street with their baby stroller and they're just happy. That's something we want in our life, right? We want to do that, but we want to be comfortable where we can dress how we want, be how we want, carry ourselves how we want, and like have our family and not feel like we're going to be attacked, you know? But we always feel like we're going to get jumped, or we're going to like something's going to like happen to us when we're in like a straight environment. And that's fucking, it's so annoying, and it's fucking scary sometimes, because like we just want to be friends with people, especially like, obviously in our circle, but like, like, yeah, it's just, it's hard.
So I have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you feel like that is something that's more prevalent in queer males versus queer females? Because you talked about this at least like one other time, where you're talking about fear of, being out in the streets in straight environments, some kind of violence. I don't know if I
think
hear about that outside of queer males.
So
As far as
I feel like I can't really speak on like, like queer females.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I can speak on that part. I can only speak on like what my experiences are.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I ask is I was gonna ask you, why do you think that might be? Why
There's
is
a
it?
lot of uncomfortable people out there.
Hmm.
A lot of uncomfortable, and most of these people they have that gay bone.
A what?
That gay bone in their body.
Oh. I was like,
Like
what's that?
the more like uncomfortable you are, the more you're just like, you're projecting that you're just pushing it all in there. Like a lot of what, okay, low key.
I know what you're talking about.
Low key, there are gay people who will like chase straight people, which is like really annoying. And then for me, I think it's so annoying because like you just don't respect boundaries.
Yeah.
And there's like, and then like, I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah, you guys are annoying. Okay, but there are like gay people who do respect like straight people's boundaries, and those are like, like all my friends. Like
Yeah.
I feel like we do respect boundaries, and that's most gay people. Like a lot of us, like we are, because like we just get it. We just get respect. And I'm sorry if you got like I'm sorry, straight people. I want to apologize to to the straight community for the gay people who have, try to fuck with you. I don't claim them, but you know what I mean. Like I feel like I just feel like if you're not comfortable, you have to communicate it, but also ask yourself why you're not comfortable.
No, I agree.
Like, is it trauma? Like, is it something like a gay person has done to you? I get it.
Yeah.
But like you have to communicate, because not every gay person is the same.
Yeah,
not every straight person is the same.
Yeah.
Like, because of what a straight person has done to me that's bad doesn't mean that what you like that doesn't define who you are to me, like to other people.
No, I agree. Because I was gonna say, when you said that the gay bone thing, I have seen that where like my gaydar is not the best, like unless it's like in my face, then I'll be like, yeah,
what's in your face?
Like you're outwardly like very gay, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, I could tell.
What's
right?
outwardly gay? Like put my pants down, like swing my dick in your face.
That could be, around there. Yeah, I would say more so. I would assume that more so than not. But on the opposite side is when guys try to be too hyper masculine, where it's like, damn, dude, like why? Something just feels off to me.
Like machismo,
like I have some friends who where I'm like, that seems kind of strange, where they'll be like, dude, let's go check out this chick, she's so fucking hot.
Send them my way. Send them my way right now.
I might have to.
I will teach them a life lesson.
Just to test, you know what I mean? But I'll just be like, damn, dude, like, I don't know, I just don't even feel like you're being honest, you know what I mean? And the way you're saying it, it's like, yo, dude, check out that chick's ass, like, isn't it so fucking fat and nice? I'm just like, I don't know, I just feel like you're faking it, like it just comes off as too much the other way, like they're trying too hard almost,
it's like it's kind of overcompensating.
Overcompensating. Like the opposite is like overcompensating, and the other way is like projecting.
It's just like, for what? Like why are you saying these words when it I get that.
100%. But it's almost like because I think this applies to a lot of things, but because they can't express themselves, because for whatever reason they feel like they have to hold it in, it comes off like wrong. And people can tell. You know what I mean? A lot of people can tell.
Those type of guys hang out with their type, the same type. So usually those type of guys hang out in groups.
What do you mean? Like they're all like that?
If they're like if they're like, oh yeah, like look at her fat, like look at her titties and her fat ass, and like, but like they'll like really go into it. Like those type of guys, they'll all hang out with each other. It's my experience.
Oh, interesting.
And they'll like fuck me, but like, like I'm kidding.
Yeah,
but like
doors.
it's like you could tell.
Yeah.
You could tell. They can't tell. But that's like me and my queerness, even with my parents. I will overcompensate sometimes, What do you
mean? I will
literally like sometimes I'll just be like, like low voice, like, hey, yo, like,
really?
Hey mom, yeah, whatever. But now it's just like, I feel like, wait, maybe not me. I know, but I've seen it. Okay, so I've seen a lot of straight people in the closet with their parents, where they kind of just like overcompensate that masculinity.
Yeah.
Actually, I've done that. I've done that.
You're that person.
Yeah, I'm that person. I will overcompensate that masculinity, but like it's for me to hide what's underneath.
Yeah. So you're aware though.
I'm so
like,
aware.
You know that you're doing
now
this.
I'm aware. Bitch, so like I did not know I had the limp wrist like while cooking. Like I'm like in the kitchen, I'm just like cooking, and I'll just be like this, and then like someone will walk in the kitchen, and I'm just like and then they like I know they saw it.
Yeah.
I didn't get that until like 3 years ago, and then that's when I started changing like how I act.
To hide it.
Yeah, but now after
I thought you were like
after the drugs.
Oh.
No, after, but they kind of like, they push themselves, so that it's like they're in denial. Like they were in denial. Not me holding my baby, but they were in like denial.
Oh, okay.
So, like even to this day, they ask me like, oh my god, like I can't wait till you like get a wife and a girlfriend, you can start a family. And like you have like, all this and kids, and we have grandchildren. And I'm sitting there looking at my brother like, that's all you, bro. Like,
that's not me.
That's not me. Like, I can adopt, but like, right now, like I don't have that money, but like, I'm so open to it.
So you still do that like with your family. So not everyone knows.
Out of respect.
Like, I'm not going to be super flamboyant if they're not comfortable
I see.
with you know, like my queerness. If it makes them uncomfortable, like I'm not going to go in there because like I respect them so much. Like I'm not going to like go in there and like culture shock them and like you have to accept who I am. No, I'm going to go in there and just like, you know, slowly, you know, my wrist and like slowly
Yeah.
you know, dye my hair and like just like go out of like that norm that they know
Okay.
and like just teach them little by little where it doesn't. I can only take so much, like, you know, I can only take so much like disgust. Like every time I do something, like let's say I dyed my hair, like they would like look at me like, what the fuck did I did wrong with this kid, you know? And it's not the best feeling. If I wear a pink, like pink, a hint of pink on any of my clothes when I was growing up, I would literally be shunned. I'd be shunned.
Wow.
And it's so bad. And like I just, you know, it's not the best feeling that like for like as a kid that puts you in like a really dark space because like the people you really seek validation and love, like it's not there because of how you are, just how you want to carry yourself.
Yeah.
So just saying, I just have to add this, but like if you're fucking homophobic, you motherfuckers, I hope your kid is gay. Okay. And they will be gay.
That is a homophobe's worst nightmare, I gotta say. Obviously we're in our 30s in case the people don't know. But do you feel like the youth it's a lot more different or easier now?
Oh, 100%. Yes. I think it's more, I think now that we live in a more globalized community, I think access to information, access to media, like kind of represents like more of us, more bodies, even women, like women in today's society, like all of us, we can learn just by like going on our phones.
Yeah.
You know, which we didn't have back then, right? We didn't have any of that. We had fucking ABBA and fucking radio and CDs and LimeWire.
Yeah.
You know, now we have our iPhones and our phones and the internet to like, you know, have access of information and see and like consume more of this like beautiful, like, you know, self-expression. Hi guys, welcome to Guys That Listen. We are now entering the lightning round. Strap up, get that pussy juicy and tight, and we're about to jump into it. Let's go, daddy.
All right, starting off, favorite alcoholic drink?
Oh fuck, wait, like just like one, like
Anything.
I like old fashioned.
Old fashioned. Solid drink. Favorite thing to photograph that you don't already photograph?
Oh fuck. Okay, I love to photograph like implied nudes, but very like angular. Like I like when they like just know how to pose.
Yeah.
Like not dancers, but like when you do something that's very uncomfortable, like let's say like something uncomfortable, but also just like very artsy. Like that's I'm obsessed because it's raw. I love that shit.
I enjoyed that too. What's your favorite thing on a guy physically?
His bulge. No, I'm kidding.
I knew you were going to say that. I don't know why you asked.
Favorite thing. I don't know, his face.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
What is one personality trait that guy has to have for
Passion.
you?
Passion.
What's one place that you want to travel to that you haven't?
Fuck. There's like a tie. Can I like?
Yes.
Okay.
You go.
Okay. It's like there's like I like Japan and like Switzerland. I don't know why.
Switzerland is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful country. All right. What's one thing you want to accomplish in 2024?
One thing I want to establish is elevating my business. I want to be more professional about like how I carry it, and I want to like have more structure. Definitely more structure, and then just like better, like more quality clients. People like I want to like obviously I'm setting boundaries for myself now, so I really want to like I want to work with people who respect my craft and my trade, and so that way we all grow together. Okay, because that's what matters. We all grow together.
And for my last question, what's one piece of advice you give to someone out there like you?
Don't give a fuck about what people have to say. Do you live your best life? you know, if you have to make mistakes, make your mistakes. If you're not gonna like try to learn from like other people's mistakes, but like have it with the best intention to be the greatest, and without like bullshit. Like don't bring other people into your bullshit, but like have the best intention to like uplift yourself and the people around you.
There
Period.
you go. Nice, Mikey. I just want to thank Mikey for sharing everything and just really educating me on a bunch of things and just being so transparent about your past, because I'm sure that's going to help someone out there going through the same shit that you went through. So, man, big shouts to you. Thank you for coming on the podcast. Can you let everyone know where they can find you?
Thank you for having me. You can find me on Instagram at mikeyanthony.photo or at gaymanrepeller.
I should have asked the question, like,
that's
why is
pretty
that
much-
your screen name?
Yeah, okay, that's my screen name because like I literally found this, like I was so obsessed with like fashion blogging back then, and there's this one like fashion blogger and her like tag, like her, what is it? Her thing was man repeller. And I'm like, bitch, same. And I'm like, gay man repeller. But she dressed so immaculately, and there was so much attention to detail, and like the way she just carried herself and like her whole lifestyle, like her with her family and the way she treats her family was something like I want to emulate. And so I was like, damn, bitch, like you live in like 3 places and like you have all this because of what you do. Like
That's pretty dope.
I want that. So I just added gay in front of it.
Got it. Good answer.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, I just want to thank our audience for watching all the way through. Shouts to you guys. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and comment below what you guys want us to talk about next time.
And remember, live fast, eat ass.
Yeah, you're very passionate about that.